Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked where I climb the online VGC 20 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Today we're trying out a super fun team that I found. This team features Dedenne Klingklang and Abomasnow. It was built by a Japanese player. I've linked their Twitter in the description below, and the idea is to potentially lead Dedenne and Klingklang, which have the plus and minus abilities, and that basically enables Dedenne to do a lot more damage. You can Dynamax it, and it basically can dunk on Pokemon turn 1 immediately, so a really fun combination that I've pretty much never gone up against, and I think is relatively niche in the metagame right now. But you got some other cool stuff on this team as well, including Choice Scarf Urshifu, Ice Shard Abomasnow into Weakness Policy, Mudsdale with Inner Focus, which means that you can't get intimidated and obviously can't get flinched either as well. And then Assault Vest Arcanine, a little bit bulkier than the last set that we were using. This one is Heat Wave, Snarl, Burn Up, for example. So a lot of crazy stuff happening here, but yeah, I was able to get top 8 at like a Japanese grassroots tournament that took place online this last weekend, and it had over 100 players in it, so I wanted to try this team out. I played a couple games with it just to get a better understanding of it, and Dedenne is like a very situational Pokemon where you're not going to be bringing it out in every matchup, but in the matchups that you do bring it out in, it can absolutely thrive. So hopefully we'll get some good games in with it today, but let's get started with today's episode. As you saw, this is a rental team, so feel free to try it out. The code is in the description below, and like I mentioned, I've linked the creator's Twitter as well as the rental team in the description below. They also posted a report for this team, which is in Japanese, so you can check that out as well. So let's get started with today's episode. As always, if you enjoy, please share your support by leaving a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Question of the day. I initially wrote this question because I wanted to try out a team with Zoroark, but ended up that the team I was looking at was actually a singles team, so couldn't feature it. Or could have, I guess, but it wouldn't have gone too well. But I wanted to ask what everyone's favorite Gen 5 Pokemon is. For me, I think as we're up against a really interesting team here with Lurantis and Togetic, this could be a decent game, though, for our little guy here. My answer to the question would be some of my favorite VGC mons from back in that era. So I think, Gothitelle jumps out to mind. Jellicent, Tornadus, Terrakion, Hydreigon, Chandelure. If I had to pick one outright, though, it would definitely be Gothitelle, which we're actually going up against here. So, let's see. Is this a game for Dedenne? Because there's Trick Room on my opponent's end, but we have Mudsdale. So Mudsdale could be pretty good into what my opponent has. So I kind of want to Abomasnow Mudsdale. And the question is, what do I lead with? I don't know. Dedenne and Klingklang looks kind of fun here. My opponent doesn't have a single electric resist other than Lurantis, and with Lurantis, we could potentially just Starfall into it. We might not even max Dedenne, because I think max Mudsdale is probably the move here, especially if we actually get the weakness policy enabled on it. So we'll see. Weakness policy is not a very common item on Mudsdale, though, right? Like, players will almost always expect Assault Vest. I know if I were playing against Mudsdale, like, I would be shocked to see weakness policy. So it's just another kind of element of surprise that we have in our favor in this with this team. Okay, it's got the Togetic, which is fine. I think we actually have a lot of options here. We could max the Dedenne and go for a Trick Room ourselves. I mean, Gothitelle could fake out here, but then what's Togetic really doing, right? I really like Volt Switching here. I honestly want to max the Dedenne and Trick Room. I really, really do. Because if we call it correctly, it puts us in such phenomenal shape. I don't want to knock out Togetic, right? Like, then I mean, I could just go Volt Switch and get a free switch into Mudsdale. I think that also works. So, Volt Switch. And I'm going to grind onto the Gothitelle because I don't think I want to give him a free switch in. Okay, Gothitelle protects. That's fine. Although Max Dedenne would have been sick here. Oh, it's just a double protect. That's also fine. So then I'm glad I didn't at least go for just like Trick Room turn 1. Because now I can max the Dedenne and Trick Room with Klingklang to reverse their Trick Room. That would be a bold play. It would be very bold. If I'm my opponent, I'm thinking maybe Togetic switches out here, so I could double up onto that slot now for a KO. But then what comes in for my opponent? Primarina is likely, maybe Hatterene. If I max the Dedenne here, what do I get? I get a cool thumbnail, so that's a good start. But is it really enough to justify maxing? I don't know. I mean, there's no way Gothitelle doesn't Trick Room here, right? I kind of want to go for it. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to max Lightning Togetic, and I'm just going to click Trick Room, expecting my opponent to Trick Room with Gothitelle. Let's see. I would think Max Lightning one-shots the Togetic here, but we'll find out. I haven't gone up against the Togetic, surprisingly, in the Series 6 yet, I think. Alright. Well, I got my thumbnail, but I want the win more, so Dedenne, you better be worth it in this game. Let's see. Because I think Max Mudsdale was a pretty good approach in this match as well. Okay, so no follow me or anything, but base 140, Max Lightning. This should pick up the one-shot with plus. Yep, there it is. Now, I've got to tell Trick Rooms, that's what we want to see, because then now we've set up Electric Terrain, which means we have base 140 plus boosted Life Orb, Stab, Max Lightning. That's pretty strong. So show me Trick Room. Nice. Okay, good. So we got that correct. I still think it probably was a little risky, but I'll take it. Because now it's going to be a lot harder for my opponent to set up Trick Room, and now you're staring down to Dedenne. Has, once again, base 140 power Max Lightning with Electric Terrain. Hatterene comes out, that's fine. Interesting, though, because both of these Pokemon can obviously set up Trick Room. Both have access to potentially Protect here. So it's tricky. I could safely Max Lightning into Gothitelle and Gear Grind into Hatterene. It's not much downside to that. I wonder if Max Lightning one-shots Gothitelle. I'd actually think it would, to be honest. Yeah, I'm just gonna Max Lightning Gear Grind. I mean, I think it's likely one, if not both Pokemon Protect. They're actually gonna max the Hat, though. That's not bad. Because that means you are saying I'm not going to get... Oh, actually, I guess you could just Protect Gothitelle here. A double up onto the Hatterene would have secured it for us. But if I double into Gothitelle and Trick Room goes up, then I don't get really anything off. Whereas here, at least I'm dishing out some damage onto both slots, even if Gothitelle protects. Okay, Goth doesn't protect either. Nice. I would think this one hit KOs, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, nice. Let's go, Dedenne. Question is whether we get KO'd in return by the Hatterene, but that's a lot of good damage from Gear. It might be a 2-hit KO, honestly. Oh, it just missed out on it. Okay. But if Hat has Life Orb, then it will be. It's going to be Smite, so now I have to play around Confusion. We'll see if it one-shots Dedenne here. It does, unfortunately. But maybe that's actually fine. Primarina, Volcarona. Volcarona is what I'm worried about in the back right now. Volk is scary. Now, the thing is, another Gear Grind will knock out Hatterene, but I have to attack through Confusion as well. That doesn't seem super fun. I could bring out Mudsdale. It doesn't feel great right now, though. I think we go out Abomasnow first, especially because we have the Focus Sash intact as well. So, I mean, it's like a guaranteed Blizzard, basically. Let's see what comes out. It's Primarina. Okay. I'm happy to see that. It's just... I do think it might come down to Confusion rolls here, which is scary. A Grind will knock out Hatterene if we just hit it here. So obviously we want to grind into the Hatterene, but the question is, do I want a Blizzard here instead of Energy Balling? Because I won't have much offense into Primarina with Mudsdale. So I mean, I kind of need to Energy Ball Primarina twice, I think. But then if we do get hit and confused or miss, that's disastrous for us. Okay, I'm just going for Gear Grind Energy Ball. We'll see. Klingklang's the fastest here. Nice. Klingklang is so clutch for us. Okay. Oh, Hat actually might survive from this double. Never mind. It does not. Nice. Well, that was as good of a first game as I could have asked for. We showed the true potential of Klingklang and the Dedenne. But we were obviously a little lucky to attack through there. Oh, actually, it turns out that we're faster with the Abomasnow here as well, actually. So we were probably in okay shape anyway. My opponent there would probably go for Smite onto the Abomasnow. So then it's a question of whether you hit us in Confusion or we miss like 2 turns in a row. I think we could have afforded 1 miss there or one Confusion turn. But nice. The team played out to its full potential here. Obviously, you know, we guessed the Trick Room where we were able to successfully reverse it, so that's kind of scary. But I think in that position, it was like very obvious my opponent was going to go for that. And I really wanted to max Mudsdale in this matchup because it hit, you know, Gothitelle for super effective with Steel Spike. I'm curious on the team here, actually. So Life Orb, Expanding Force, Dark Pulse, interesting. Volcarona with Rage Powder Sash, no surprise there. With Specs Primarina, yeah, that explains why Hyper Voice was doing so much. Jerkum Heal Pulse, Expanding Force, Protect. EBO Light Togetic with Protect. Tri-Attack, which is cool. Life Dude and Follow Me. And then Leech Life, Brick Break, AV, Lurantis. Cool. So yeah, Lurantis didn't come out. As you saw, my opponent ended up not having a single resist to Electric, so I'm happy. Dedenne came out and it did what it needed to, which was dish out a lot of damage and set up the terrain to enable for 2 one-hit KOs back-to-back turns. So yeah, even if we lose the next 2 games today, honestly, I am more than content. Alright, this next one is Coalossal. Coalossal. What do I want to do against you? So here's the thing, we could just lead... I think Dedenne, unfortunately, is really bad here. My opponent didn't have Coalossal, it actually destroys everything else, but we're going up against Coalossal, and that alone's a problem. I am leaning towards Klingklang. Here's the thing, Mudsdale also destroys my opponent. Like, I think we have to go the Mudsdale route this game. So, if I lead Urshifu Klingklang, I at least pressure with the Surging Strikes onto Coalossal turn 1. You would want to probably knock out the... Like, either get a lot of damage off with Strikes, or I get Trick Room up. Both which are pretty good, because if Trick Room goes up, Mudsdale comes in, and it just should sweep through my opponent's entire team. I think we need Abomasnow to potentially enable Mudsdale. Blizzard actually is really good into this as well. Dedenne, honestly, is so tempting. It's just, like, the thing is, I think it's not worth spending our Dynamax on, because there's not much that pressures Dynamax and Mudsdale in this matchup, other than Primarina. But even with Primarina, like, we have Policy, we have Max Quake boosts to potentially boost up before it attacks us, so, it's not like a big throw that one-hit KOs us. As you just saw in that last game, the problem with Dedenne is that it's really frail, so even max moves can just one-shot it. It's gonna be Urshifu Krookodile. Okay, I think this is fine because I have the Choice Scarf, so I can just go Surging Strikes into Krookodile. Yeah, I mean, I could see it being, what, Crit Anger Point, but Strikes into Krookodile is super safe, right? And we can still Trick Room here. I think Trick Room Surging Strikes is pretty safe play here. Because once we get Trick Room up, it will be a little bit awkward for our Urshifu the subsequent turn, but then it just guarantees that we get Trick Room up for the not the remainder, but the next couple of turns. It might not be the right play, though. We'll see, because I don't think my Urshifu is going down here, so it does mean that I have to awkwardly play with my Urshifu in for 1 turn of Trick Room. But no Protects, no Dynamaxes, no Switches, so I think Strikes here should just be a KO. Yep. Nice. We enable Anger Point, but it's fine. I'm really curious if my opponent actually... yeah, I think it actually would have been smarter to have gone for Gear Grind there, instead of rushing Trick Room this early on. Yeah, they went for the Self-Wicked Blow, too. Okay. So we get Trick Room up. What could be awkward now is if Coalossal comes out, we just Dynamax Urshifu, I think. Actually, we don't even need to. As long as we get the... yeah, as long as we get the Mudsdale in for free, it's fine. Primarina comes out. That's okay. Yeah, like, what we do now is we sack Urshifu so that we get a free switch in, right? So I'm just going to go for Gear Grind onto Primarina and say bye-bye to our Urshifu. However, the better play would have been to just go for Gear Grind last turn, because then we can just Surging Strikes into the Urshifu, and we probably just win off that alone, to be honest. But I think it's still fine. Okay, this is the downside of Surging Strikes, though. Gear Grind, you can miss, as you just saw. I did a lot of damage. It was super effective. Yeah, I shouldn't have been so aggressive in setting up Trick Room. The miss there is bad, because if we didn't miss, I think we could just bring out the Abomasnow and just Energy Ball pretty safely, but now... I actually kind of feel compelled to bring out the Mudsdale. This next turn is a little cheeky, but I think we actually go for an Ally Switch here. And Max Quake into Primarina. Yeah. I should have just gone for Gear Grind turn 1. Like, it was so clear my opponent was going to try to crit the Krookodile turn 1, and if we just, like, if we don't set up Trick Room there, my Urshifu keeps putting on pressure with Surging Strikes. It's like, then I would have Klingklang next to my Urshifu, right? And then Trick Room isn't up, so I always attack first with Surging Strikes, but I think it's still an okay position. I haven't seen Drain Punch on Urshifu ever. I would have actually preferred my opponent to pick up a KO there, because then I get a Abomasnow in for free. I can just Ice Shard into Max Quake. But that's not the case here. So we'll see if Primarina Dynamaxes. I think that would obviously make a lot of sense. Yeah, looks like so. So, I mean, like, our lead was great. I think I should have just gone for Gear Grind instead. So, live and learn. Now, yeah, Dedenne actually could have been pretty good against that lead because we could just Starfall turn 1. So, maybe we could have brought it, but I think given that Coalossal was on my opponent's team, I had to respect that as a threat. I don't think there's really a better attack to go with Klingklang here. We have Ally Switch, so it's our best option at this moment. Looks like they didn't go for priority. See how much Max Quake does. Wow, that's a 2-hit KO. That is so much damage. That was a crit. That was why. Okay, I was like, there's no way it does that much normally. So, fortunate crit. I mean, the setup was to... Oh, they Max Strike. Interesting. I mean, I'm guessing that was Hyper Voice Max Strike, so they don't have Hydro Cannon, is my guess. That would be the most logical assumption. Okay, Wicked Blow crit, obviously. But I think we're in good shape now. I mean, I can just bring in the Abomasnow. Bringing out Abomasnow here is interesting because, I mean, I think I can just Energy Ball, Steel Spike. Actually, Drain Punch is going to wreck us, though, and it's probably going to be Sash on Urshifu. So, like, a part of me wonders if I should double up onto the Urshifu here. But then I lose the Hail, right? You would activate our policy that way, though. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to Max Quake Urshifu and Blizzard here. We get the knockout onto that slot, get Abomasnow to +1 special defense. I think Primarina might protect here as well, because you're staring down two things that threaten you so much. I just think, like, if Primarina protects and Urshifu, like, Drain Punches, I just lose all this damage on Abomasnow for nothing. No Protect, unfortunately, but I think it's still okay. As long as Blizzard KOs, but I don't think so. Okay, so we're at +2 Spadef now. Yeah, I don't know if that was the right play. Oh, Preem is faster, actually. But it does literally no damage to us. The problem here is if we miss with the Abomasnow, because Blizzard can now miss, given that Rain is up. Procs our policy, though, so Mudsdale is looking very, very good. If we hit this, I think it should just be game over, because Mudsdale should just sweep. Blizzard misses, though. Primarina dodges it, but it hits Urshifu, so that's all we needed. Okay, nice. Yeah, I didn't anticipate Primarina outspeeding us there, but I maybe should have, because, you know, they're pretty close in speed tiers. So they had Geyser this whole time. I'm curious why they went for Strike last time around. As Coalossal comes out, that's fine. Rain is up now. Let's see. Yeah, it's not min speed Abomasnow. We've got Energy Ball. One more turn of Max, one more turn of Trick Room. I mean, Geyser shouldn't KO us, so I think we just Quake into... Well, actually, Quake just one-shots Primarina, right? So why bother targeting Coalossal? What's Coalossal going to do to us here? Yeah, I think it's fine to just Quake Primarina, Energy Ball Coalossal here. And Primarina doesn't protect us. I should have, like, I got careless clicking Trick Room turn 1, though. I think this should have been game over based off how turn 1 played out if I just go for Gear Grind. So, I don't really like how I played it out. But like I said, Mudsdale was the win con here. I am really amazed at how little it took from Geyser. I mean, yeah, we were at +2 Spadef, but it's not like we're Assault Vest here. Coalossal goes for Flamethrower, yes. It's special Coalossal as well. It's not going to do anything to a Mudsdale under Rain at +3 Spadef. So we end up getting the Mudsdale and the weakness policy activated, but I also think I shouldn't have gone for Blizzard last turn. I should have gone for Energy Ball onto the Urshifu, because why risk a miss there, right? I totally forgot about the possibility Primarina is just going to Geyser first. So, would have been safer for us. Now let's not risk missing. So we can just Heavy Slam Energy Ball, especially because we're faster. What was I going to say? Yeah, there was no reason to risk it there. So I should have just Energy Balled Urshifu. That would have been smarter. Okay, another Flamethrower comes out. It's going to target Mudsdale, and that did 15. Actually, more damage than I expected. But we get the Heavy Slam off, and that is going to be a knockout. Yeah. So I think 2 major misplays this game. 1, going for Trick Room immediately. Like, I didn't need to rush it too much. That was the first one. Then 2, risking Blizzard instead of Energy Ball. Because I don't need that chip damage on a Primarina. I mean, in my head, I was like, if I chip away at it, then it might be an Energy Ball KO range, even as in Dynamax form. I am curious about the sets. So Policy, Wide Lens, Scarf Krookodile, which makes sense. This is where us having Scarf Urshifu was huge, because they were trying to obviously just go for the crit onto Crook and then sweep with it. Talonflame with Chardy, AV Primarina. That's why it did so little. Max Geyser was coming from Aqua Jet. Yeah, that makes sense. So that's not going to do anything in that position. That's the downside of not having Hyper Voice there. Wait, so this Krookodile is slow, right? Because 118... wait, if you're Scarf Krookodile, you're always attacking first. So you don't even crit yourself until you attack. But I guess you could Dynamax Krookodile and get the Anger Point stuff off. Yeah. So even though we won, I think like this is a good example of a game where you should always be like hypercritical of your own play, because I think I made a bunch of misplays. Turn 1 Trick Rooming I think is maybe like justifiable, but I think the Blizzard play was really bad. And we're lucky enough to hit the Urshifu. I think if we missed there, we're probably still in okay shape, to be honest, actually, because Mudsdale just beats everything at that point. But shouldn't have risked it. Energy Ball's just safer there. Blizzard doesn't really cover for many options. Like, I don't really care about whatever switching in. I just need to make sure I knock out the Urshifu in that position. So, yeah. And once again, I think because if we just don't bother going for Trick Room turn 1, turn 2, the question is what do you bring in? You're not going to bring Coalossal in that position. I think you have to bring out the Primarina. So then I go Surging Strikes into the opposing Urshifu and then Trick Room that turn. Which also gives me another turn of Trick Room effectively. Okay, third game, we are up against Fiona's team, which we had just featured on Road to Rank. So we know what we're up against here. Dedenne, can you be good here? Possibly. It's just the Raichu that makes it a lot tougher, I think. I feel like Mudsdale is probably the direction we want to go in. I'm not gonna lie, I really want to lead Dedenne here still. Why don't I just go Abomasnow Mudsdale and just self Ice Shard turn 1? Is that ambitious? I think it's a little bit ambitious. Especially because of the opposing Urshifu. The Urshifu on the other side scares me. Here's what I want to go with. I want to go... Oh, I know there's Taunt on the Talonflame, but if you Taunt, I can just Surging Strike. So, yeah, let's go with Urshifu, Klingklang, Abomasnow, Mudsdale. I mean, Mudsdale just looks so dang good here, but... Like, as fun as Dedenne is, it's the threat of Raichu, which means that I can't really easily lead Dedenne, and then it would mean having it in the back, which doesn't feel super consistent, because my opponent also has Tailwind, so if they get Tailwind up, Dedenne is just really bad, because it's just getting outsped. So I'm going to play a little safer here by going with the Mudsdale route. This is the power of Weakness Policy Mudsdale. It's good. If we get it off, I think it just sweeps through. Raichu and Urshifu. Okay. Could have gone to Dedenne and just gone for like Starfall turn 1, but that's fine. So we're Scarf. I mean, I want to Surging Strikes into Raichu and just Trick Room here, honestly. Because if this game, like, we really do need to get Trick Room up, and I think, like, the offense is quite scary from the opposing end. And the main reason we need to get it up is because even though here it looks fine, Talonflame could come in, and that would be really bad for us, I think. Do I Protect here, actually? Protect doesn't make sense, right? Okay, I'm just going to go for Trick Room because we really need Mudsdale under Trick Room in this match. Figgo does go into Klingklang though. Okay. Okay, it's gonna be a double up. I don't mind that. That's actually great, because now I get a free switch in. So this is what we want. Because now we get Mudsdale in, and that's pretty good. Wait, I thought the item on the Urshifu was... Is it banded? I thought it was Life Orb. Oh no, it's banned, right? Yeah, it's banned. Forgot about that. Pretty safe to go into Mudsdale here, because Raichu's not doing anything against us. So I think we can go to Mudsdale, target the Urshifu slot, and switch Klingklang out into Abomasnow. That sets up the Hail to get rid of Raichu's Sash as well. We don't necessarily need a Dynamax here, do we? Because we're not going to take damage this turn if I just stay in and attack. Because I could just high horsepower, but then we could potentially miss, which would be really bad, so I don't want to risk it. So I'm just going to Max Quake Urshifu here, switch out into Abomasnow. I fear Urshifu switching out into Talonflame, but then you've brought Talonflame out under Trick Room, so it's not that much of a problem. Yeah, I think that play turn 1 worked out. Here's the thing, right? It's like classic lead Trick Room with a really strong offensive sweeper, so it's like your opponent either denies the Trick Room, but then you leave this really strong attacker unchecked, or you knock out the attacker and give me a free switch in as I set up Trick Room. Both of which are pretty good for us. I could have also just hard brought out Abomasnow this last turn, but once again, I don't want to risk missing. Urshifu does switch out though, so let's see if Talonflame comes in. Okay. If I predicted that, we probably... I don't know. Rock falling into that slot's kind of shady, but I think I'm still not that concerned, to be honest, because, like, I've got the Sash, or sorry, I've got Abomasnow out. It's just that I waste a max turn here, which kind of sucks. I guess Heavy Slam would at least be more consistent there, but it's fine. Nice switch out. Yeah, I was like, would they really bring Talonflame out here? But they did, and I think that's the correct play, too. So, great switch, and Bolt Switch, yeah. Keeping Raichu Sash intact as well. However, this is actually really heavily dependent on what the 4th Pokemon is here in this matchup, I think. Because we still have multiple turns of Trick Room to work with, and Talonflame's really bad right now for my opponent, as is Raichu. It's Duraludon, which I'm happy to see, because there's nothing stopping me from Self-Ice Shard Quake now, I think. But yeah, I don't really care about Talonflame. That Talonflame is not putting on pressure against us whatsoever. So, we pretty much have a guaranteed knockout this turn into Duraludon. I mean, Duraludon... It was Assault Vest on that team, right? So, you could switch back out into Raichu, but the thing is, with Hail, like, we just get Mudsdale enabled. However, this is why I was like, if I actually, like, predicted the Talonflame switch out last turn, it would have been legendary. They're going to Dynamax Duraludon, though, which I think is great news for us, because if Duraludon goes down, I think this game is going to be really difficult to win from my opponent's end. I guess you'll still have Urshifu in the late game, which can crit through us and has Choice Band, so we'd have to knock that out ASAP. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so no Max Guard, which means it's a KO here. I'm sure it's Flare Blitz going out into Abomasnow. Would it have been worth it to KO Talonflame then? I mean, I also could have just gone Blizzard Max Quake, but I wanted the +2 so that this one-shots everything now from the opposing end. Okay, so there's no Max to play around, but like it's still 2v4, so we haven't won this necessarily. However, there's pretty much no protects on the opposing side now, so we should be able to just pick up a knockout every turn. No, it's Brave Bird, right? There's no Flare Blitz, it's Heat Wave. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's the right play to go for on there, and if they miss there, I think it's just kind of doomed. So we have one more turn of Dynamax left on the Mudsdale. I think 2 more turns of Trick Room left. We have Gear Grind. I mean, Ally Switch could be essential in this late game, but I don't feel the need to go for it right now. Yeah, I just think the Talonflame switching was really good on my opponent's end. Yeah, I don't think you're ever giving up Urshifu there, so kind of a bad play on my end to not predict or cover for that option. Yeah, so there's no 2 turns of Trick Room, which means I think we're in pretty good shape. Because I don't really care about what Raichu goes for here. pointless getting any boosts up here either. So I think we just go for a Rockfall onto Talonflame. Talonflame could switch out here into the Urshifu. My question actually is whether a +2 Steel Spike KOs. I would think so. Because then I want to go for Steel Spike. But if Urshifu switches in, you can't protect. Yeah, so I think Rockfall is just safer here anyway. And I'll Gear Grind that slot too. Yeah, they don't switch. Okay. Yeah, it's just Fake Out. I think this is fine then. Like, there's still one more turn of Trick Room, which is the main thing that my opponent has to play around. I don't know. I actually think +2 Steel Spike is a KO there, so I think that's probably the right play. But I don't remember the spread on the Talonflame. So I don't want to risk it, because if it does survive, like, I need Urshifu to come out right now on the last turn of Trick Room. Because it's banded. So we can just safely double up onto that slot next turn. And just hope we don't miss. Now the question is whether to go for a Heavy Slam or High Horsepower. I don't know how much, if +2 Heavy Slam plus Gear Grind is... I'm pretty sure +2 High Horsepower alone KOs. So I think that's our play. Yeah. And just Gear Grind here. Yeah, I think... it's going for a Helping Hand Sucker Punch. Yeah, I should have Ally Switched maybe to cover this. I mean, I don't think this KOs, but... Oh, that was dangerously close. Nice play. Okay, that should be a game now. Because I don't think Raichu actually has a way to hit the Mudsdale. So, yeah, that was well played, though. Ally Switch just would have been safer there to cover for the switch. The Helping Hand Ally Switch option. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing my opponent can do now. I could actually just protect Trick Room. That Raichu didn't even have any other attacks. It was Fake Out, Volt Switch, Helping Hand. I don't remember the last attack, but yeah. I mean, we're fine. We just Heavy Slam here. Trick Room played safe, but doesn't really matter. Obviously, it helps that we had information on my opponent's team, knowing that the Urshifu was banded. Obviously, helps us a lot. Well, helps us out a lot here. So yeah, I mean, Mudsdale turns out still a pretty dang good Pokemon. You know, it can be tough to enable, but Klingklang, well, it's interesting because you're not really using Klingklang in conjunction with Mudsdale, I guess, but the Klingklang is kind of a cool Trick Room option because I can play with this team in two different ways. I can either lead Dedenne plus Klingklang and just sweep with Dedenne, or I can set up Trick Room, which enables Mudsdale in the late game. So I kind of feature the two main sweepers with this team. You're pretty much always going to be, I think, Dynamaxing Dedenne and the Mudsdale, occasionally the Urshifu, depending on the scenario that you're in, but most of the time it's going to be one of those two. So, yeah. But I think overall, we're in good shape. We were in good shape. I think some misplays in, especially I think like that second game that I can point out too. This third match we were in, turn one could have been scary, I guess, if you Fake Out and then you end up not targeting the Urshifu, because then I'm stuck in with Urshifu as I get up Trick Room, but I thought it was like, my opponent was going to all or nothing in one of the two slots there. So that's what ended up happening. But yeah, fun set of games. Hopefully you enjoyed our time with the team. Excited to feature some more games with it in the future. And thank you as always for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all soon. All right, peace.